So it's all to play for still.
I think so. Do you want to bet against us?
Hello, Villa fans, and welcome to For the Love of Paul McGrath podcast. This is a pre-recorded podcast I did this morning, and I did it in relation to some news that came out. We might as well just cut straight to the chase with regards to where am I going to? The Cameron Archer. Fabrizio Romano has said that Cameron Archer will leave Aston Villa this window on loan as part of the plan. Union Berlin and Getafe are leading the way, while Bournemouth were showing interest earlier this summer. So why would I want to talk about this one specifically when it seems to only be a rumor about somebody going out on loan? And the reason that I wanted to jump on for this is that, look, Cameron Archer's future, I suppose, has been a topic of debate amongst a lot of Aston Villa fans, specifically over the last this off season. You know, Archer goes to Sheffield United. He makes a name for himself in a lot of ways, and comes back then to Aston Villa on a pre-arranged deal if Sheffield United get relegated. Now, Cameron Archer scored 4 goals for Sheffield United in the Premier League last season. I don't think anybody doubts that Cameron Archer has a lot of talent. I want to get that out there first and foremost. Don't think anybody doubts that he's got talent. You see it. He's a fantastic finisher of the ball. I think one of the biggest problems that Cameron Archer is going to face or has faced over the last 2 years at Aston Villa is that we don't have the time for him to learn and to carry him in the squad while he's learning. And I'm going to contradict myself slightly in a moment with regards to that. So bear that in mind. I do know that I can contradict myself in the same podcast quite often, but for Cameron Archer, we've all seen it. Some great finishing ability. He's goal against Bilbao, runs from inside his own half, takes it, stays on his feet as the defender's trying to haul him down, trying to hack him down, takes it around the goalkeeper and off balance, finishes it into the back of the net with 2 players standing on the goal line. Absolutely exquisite finish. Brilliant stuff. Really, really good. I think the question marks around Cameron Archer are, if you take out the opportunistic goals like that, and that wasn't, it seems silly to say it, but that was an opportunistic goal. He'd seen that the striker or that the defender had come too far forward. He had all the time in the world to make his run in behind him. The defender was never going to catch him. And it was a case then of shrugging off the defender and trying to get around the goalkeeper, which he did. It was a brilliant goal, taking nothing away from it. But there was real opportunism. There was real cunning and guile in that as well. So there's a lot of thought. There was a lot of footballing IQ in that goal. Brilliant. He knew exactly where he needed to do what he needed to do. Peel out to the left-hand side, make sure that defender, he could create separation from that defender so that he could get a run on him, because he knew that if he was running straight onto the ball and the defender had to turn, he had 3 or 4 yards in him, and no matter what the defender would do, he was going to have to haul him down or try and take him down if he was going to get to that ball. So absolutely really intelligent goal. Brilliant stuff. But I think the all-round game that Cameron Archer has still needs a small little bit of work. And not a lot, but a small little bit of work. And I've always felt that if it came down to the fact that we couldn't sell Duran, or even if we did sell Duran, we would bring in a striker that would leapfrog Cameron Archer in the pecking order. One of the good things about Cameron Archer is that he's a home-trained an association and a homegrown player. Now, because he's over the age of 21, actually no, he would still count for that for the Champions League. So we would be losing him from the point of view of counting him on our B list for our Champions League squad. But we still have players that we can add to that would be able to supplement him. So is it really fair for us as Aston Villa Football Club that wants Cameron Archer to succeed and wants him to grow, to kind of keep him on the bench? Specifically if John Duran is going to stick around, and if, as I think it's as plain as the nose on my face here, Aston Villa want to upgrade in the striking department. So sending Cameron Archer out on loan might be, from a PSR point of view, it's not going to move the needle an awful lot for us. from the point of view of getting money in through the door. Yeah, will we get a loan fee? We probably will, but loan fee will probably just cover his wages for the year, maybe in a bit more on top. But sending him out on loan is for me is probably like it shows the future proofing. I think with regards to the striker position, one or both of Archer and Duran won't be here next season, and they just won't. John Duran is going to have the opportunity. I think this signals that we won't be selling John Duran. Could be 100% wrong on this, absolutely. Everything is fluid and changes. If Saudi Arabia club comes in with the 60 million or 50 million bid or 45 million bid and he's okay to go there, I think Villa sell him and get a replacement. But as things stand, I think what Villa have done is there's obviously been conversations with John Duran, his agent. John Duran has got the number 9 shirt. There's a reason Villa gave him the number 9 shirt. They could have stopped him getting the number 9 shirt. But there's a reason they gave him that. And that's probably because they've drawn a line under actively trying to sell him. They must have come to some sort of agreement with John Duran in the past week or so. He is the more saleable asset between himself and Cameron Archer. As much and all as we don't as we don't believe it, or we don't want to believe it, he's the much more saleable asset than Cameron Archer at the moment. A lot of people I've seen since Fabrizio Romano broke the news this morning have said, why don't we loan out Duran? I don't think we stand anything to gain by loaning out Duran. I think we make ourselves weaker because I think Duran is a better striker, better player than Cameron Archer currently. I think Duran playing with us this season, getting opportunities will protect his value. And I think Villa know that. And I think Villa want to do that. They want to protect his value in case they need to sell him in the short to intermediate term. I think Villa also see an awful lot in Cameron Archer. I think they see an awful lot now. I think Unai Emery sees like everybody can see what he can do when he gets an opportunity to finish. But it's his all-round game needs to come on. Maybe going abroad, maybe going to Germany might be a really good move for him. Going to Getafe might be a really good move for him. Not playing with like if he goes to Bournemouth, he might be second fiddle to another striker that they bring in there. But going on the continent, he might get more opportunities, smaller squad sizes, less league where they have a winter break, something along those lines, so he can be in optimal position to showcase his talents and to grow out of possession. Like Cameron Archer, I think does need to do that. I think he needs to grow out of possession. I think he needs to grow in a bit more of a physical manner as well. Not obviously get taller or stronger or anything like that, but I think he needs to. He couldn't do it at Sheffield United last year. Couldn't really kind of take the shackles off and show what he could do because they were an absolute turgid team. They were useless. Like Sheffield United were one of the worst teams I've watched in the Premier League outside of that Derby team some years ago, and Aston Villa in 2016. Like Sheffield United were really bad. It conceded goal after goal after goal after goal, and it's difficult for a striker to play up top in that environment. When you're consistently under pressure and you're chasing lost cause after lost cause, very difficult to play there. Going to Union Berlin, going to Getafe, you'd expect them to be mid-table teams in their leagues, and that will give him an opportunity to have more opportunity, if that makes sense. He's not going to get that at Villa. So if I think Aston Villa have looked at it, I think they would have sold him to Bournemouth if Bournemouth come in with an offer that was sufficient. I think they would have sold him. But I think they also that they know that Archer is only imminently saleable due to the fact that he's a homegrown talent and PSR. They obviously think he's got talent. Otherwise, they wouldn't put in buyback clauses in his sale to Sheffield United. So it's kind of an oxymoron from that point of view, and he's a very good case study of the shittiness of the PSR situation. Aston Villa would love to have Cameron Archer in their squad and learning within this system, but because of PSR and because of, I suppose, squad maintenance that they have to do, they can't afford to have a player there that likely won't be able to contribute over the course of the year. Whether that's right or wrong, I don't know. But that's obviously the thinking here. They want him to grow, but they can't. So they need to get him out to keep the squad size relevant to the 25 and for squad A and squad B lists that they're going to have for the Champions League. And they need to get bodies out the door. And I like, if they're not going to get the money that they want for Archer, getting him out on loan frees up a squad space. Yes, do we not get the benefit from PSR? Absolutely. But the big thing here is that this signals to me not only that they actually appreciate Archer and that they think that he's got a lot of talent, but also that John Duran is sticking around. I would be very surprised on the 15th of August with 15 days left in the transfer window if Aston Villa were to loan out Cameron Archer and sell John Duran. So if they do loan out Cameron Archer, I think this signals that Duran stays. And yes, I do think that this will free us up to go and to attack the position, whether it be a number 10 or a number 10 that can play as a striker as well. Frees us up to do that from a squad size point of view. Now, there's obviously going to be more to come out in this. Will Cameron Archer go out on loan? I don't know. But this is obviously new news. And I'm kind of thinking on the fly here with regards to this, that Villa think that John Duran can learn on the job here at Aston Villa. Much not as we know these antics and what he's gotten up to on social media, I think that they'll see the benefit of him, his play style, and think that he can learn within the system. And they've obviously had conversations with him. Like, you don't give him a number 9 shirt if you give him a number 59 shirt if you're jettisoning him and not planning on using him or throwing him on the scrap heap for the season. Don't give him the number 9 shirt when he comes back. So I think this very much, it could be completely wrong. Everything could turn on its head in the next week, but I think this signals, if Archer does go out on loan, I think it signals that John Duran is here at least until January. And then maybe we reconsider there. And I think Aston Villa have looked at this from the bottom line and from the accountancy side of things, because his value is only rising, John Duran's. And the more game time he gets and the more eyes he gets in him in the Champions League, which he will get time in the Champions League off the bench, I'm sure. And if Watkins gets injured, he will get time as a starter in the Champions League. And the more eyes, the more value they get for him. I think he's an imminently more saleable asset on the continent. Is what I'm trying to get at here, or even within the Premier League. John Duran, sexier name, albeit that Cameron Archer isn't too bad himself from the name point of view. There's just something to think about. It wasn't a really long one today. I wanted to kind of just talk about it because, as I said, I know there's going to be a lot of conjecture. There's going to be a lot of debate in it. Not people won't agree with this. Now, I look. We just did a preseason piece here, and I know Chris Dolan will be scratching his head at this because he's a very, very big Archer fan, and I am an Archer fan. I'm not 100% that he's fully there yet. Do I? I'm not 100% sure that I would be confident with him leading the line for 6 or 7 games in a row. But then again, he very much could do that. You know, it's just what I have seen and what I haven't seen so far from him. And I'm absolutely thrilled if he gets a good loan deal. I'm thrilled for him to come back and absolutely eat it up at Aston Villa. And I don't buy into the whole thing that, is he pushing on in age? Is he, is he too old to go out on loan? Cameron Archer has been a late bloomer, relatively late bloomer. He came on the scene out of absolutely nowhere. Went to Solihull Moors. He's been successful in every loan stint or every stint outside of the club he's had. And I think a stint on the continent would do him absolute wonders. I think it would do him wonders. I don't understand, and this is the cliche, I don't understand why more British players don't push to go for loan stints on the continent. Because I think it will do them wonders to learn out of structure, and also to learn out of the over mechanical Premier League or British footballing system at times. And Cameron Archer has the body type. He has all the intangibles, the speed, the strength and stuff to thrive in a more fluid system, in a more fluid league. So hats off to him. I hope he goes on loan. I hope he absolutely rips it up and he comes back and a really an improved player for Aston Villa. And I hope then that he stays here for the rest of his career, because we all know the boy's got talent. I think he's very much a case of a juggling ball that unfortunately we will see an awful lot more youth players that come through academies with regards to PSR, with regards to squad structures and squad building as well. And it's unfortunate, but it's an issue of the Premier League's making, and it's an issue of UEFA's making as well. So until that gets overhauled, I think we're going to see this more and more. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. We're going to be back later on this evening with more podcasts. I hope you will join us then. Stay safe, stay healthy, have a great day, and all that's left to say is up the Villa.